Okay, so let's do few examples. I'm in this section I'm going to explain about few examples that I have listed here. So let's go one by one. So let's first try to find the LCM. Let's go back to your Eclipse. So in Eclipse I'm going to create one new source file, class file. So I will say new and class, and this time I'm going to use a new package so called java com.training.java.basics.examples. So the class name I will put as a LCM. Let's create it. So let's write one main method. So for getting the LCM, first let's see what is LCM, what logic we should use it. So finding the LCM, so there is input and there is output. So input is set of numbers and output is LCM. That's what it is, expected value, right? So and what we are going to do, input we will take from this argument. We will use this argument as an input. Okay, so we will pass this argument and we will call one method, say get LCM, and passing two values, right? We will pass number 1 and number 2. So let's first write the logic of get LCM, which will take two numbers and int num1 and int num2. So this method needs some return type, so I will return integer. I don't want to create object to call this method, so I will mark as static. And because I have marked as return type as integer, I should return something. So for now let's return 0. Okay, so finding the LCM is how it works. So let's see if you have given number 2 and 3. So one value is min, then that is nothing but 2. One value is max, that is here 3. So what is the possibility of LCM? LCM could be like 3 here in the worst case, in the best case, sorry, in the suppose this number is given 1, so LCM could be the one of the max value, right? Otherwise it could be something more than 3. So in this case, because 3 is not possible, so this is the minimum possibility. And LCM max possibility is could be here 3 into 2. So that is maximum possibility of LCM. So here we know that LCM is 6. So we are trying to give some logic here. So what happens, we can start with minimum possibility. Minimum possibility is 3 into 1, and If 3 into 1 and means max into 1, then we will see if max into 1 is divided by min, then this value will be LCM. Otherwise, let's try with max with 2. So if max into 2 is divisible by min, then that value will be LCM. So in this case, max into 2 is 3 into 2 is 6. 6 is divisible by min, that is 2. So it is max into 2 is the LCM. So let's try to make a program of that. So what is the int max? Sorry, min. Int min is, let's use one ternary conditional operator here. So if num1 is greater than num2, then num2 will be minimum, else num1, right? Same way, int max equal to num1 is greater than num2, then max will be num1, else max will be num2, right? So we got the minimum and maximum because we need to sort them to write into, suppose your number is given 3 and 2, so you have to convert to 2 and 3. So this is how you can do that minimum and maximum. So what we need to do, we have to start with 1. Here we have started with 1 and it will take you to till min. So int I is equal to 1, I less or equal to min I plus plus. So we first tried with 1, then we try with 2. So 2 is nothing but min here. So what we need to do, we need to get one temp value. Say that temp is equal to I into max, right? So here we are doing I means 1 into max. If this value, if temp is divisible by max, divisible by max means divisible by min equal to 0, it means that no remainder is there, then your temp will be LCM, right? So we can do either way. So here I can say either we break it then finally return it, or we return from here. So whenever I say return, it will be come out of this function with the value of whatever we are returning with. Okay, so this is how your LCM will be used. Suppose you are giving one number, right? Suppose you are not two numbers which are, say you are giving 1 and 2. So let's do one die run in case of if you are giving 1 comma 2. So min is 1, max is 2. So 1 is, we'll start with 1, it is less than equal to 1, so it will go to there, and temp will be I1 into max is 2, so temp will be 2. 2 is divisible by 1, yes, it is divisible by 1 completely, so it will return 10. So the LCM of 1 and 2 will be 10. So let's do one run here. Let's give 1 comma 2. So let's see what happens here. Sorry, I need to call this method get LCM, and you give the parameter as 1 comma 2. So let's run it. The value came 2. Suppose you are giving 2 and 3, the value will become 6. Suppose you are giving 12 and 20, so it should come 60. So that is the LCM. Let's try to be more generic. So now this is how you are getting the LCM. This portion is done. So this is how we have written the code which we can call. Now this is petition, this is input. So in the input we see that we want to get the input from argument. So let's put one loop, int I is equal to 0 and I is less than argument dot length, because this is the array, so it has some length, so I plus plus. After taking the input, I want to apply this output. So suppose here you have given as 12, 20 and 30 and say 60. These are 4 numbers we have given, but your program accepts only 2. So we have to pass these 2, and whatever result that will come, that result plus with 30, again with result we will send to the parameter along with 60. So this is how we can get. So let's do one thing. Let's try, we need to find out the final. So let's say int LCM, say 1. So what we need to do, LCM equal to, we will use this method and say pass this LCM and value of I. So because it accepts integer, so we will say string dot parse, because it is a string, so we will say string dot we will use integer dot parse int, because we have to convert this string into integer, so we have used integer dot parse int, so which will take the argument as a string and convert into integer. So if LCM is 1, suppose I am passing example here um, say 2 and 3, for example, 2 and 3 again. So LCM is 1. We will pass here, we will pass 1 and 2 first. Argument y 1 is, argument 0 is first argument, that is argument arg0, that is here 2. So 1 and 2, I will get 2, right? Now I will pass 2 and 3, I will get 6. That's end of loop. The final result will be, so I have to print LCM. The LCM is this one. Now let's take the, we will run this one as run configuration. This is how you can provide the values from the command line. So this is program argument. So this will go to fit into your parameter of the main method. So I have given, for example, 12, 20, 30 and 60. Let's apply and run it. So the LCM is 60. So what is happening here, let's do one dry run. Dry run in Eclipse is nothing but, you can say, debug also. So I will debug it here. So here if you see arguments, we got 12, 20, 30 and 60. LCM is 1. Moving to next line. To move to the next line, you can use F6 button. So I have used the button. If I go to debug, you can see what you can use. So here F6, that is step over. If I want to go inside, I will use F5. Okay. So I need to go to the perspective. So give me 1 second. Seems something got distracted. So let's okay, now we are back. So let's run it again. Let's debug it again. So we got argument 12, 20, 30 and 60. So LCM is 1. So we will be starting, and right now I is 0. So argument I is right now 12, because this is the 0th index element, and you can say first element of the array. So let's go to what happens if I, this is, it will go to inside and try to get the integer value of string, that is 12. So here you will see num1 is 1, num2 is 12. So minimum and maximum we found 1 and 12, and so first temp is 12, that is I into max. Max is 12 here. So 12 and min is 1, so it is divisible by temp. Sorry, it is divisible by min. So that's the temp. We will return it. So that's how LCM you got so far is 12. Next, it will do this. It will pass 12, and next element is what is next element? So I is right now 1. So what is argument I here? Let's do here, go back. So here num1 is 12 and num2 is 20. So again we'll do the same thing. and 10 we got, that is the LCM. Now LCM is 60. So 12 and 20 we got 60. So next one is 30. It will do the LCM and finally make this variable ready. So I'm coming out of this whole program and we'll see the value of LCM is 60. So let's try to play with variables. Change the argument, just keep let's keep unsorted way, that is first I give 12, then 60, then 30, and then see result should be same. So that's how it works. So we saw that how to find the LCM of given numbers in this example. So steps are very much clear. First, identify your input, pass your input in such a way that your program can handle, your function can handle, and whatever value you will get, you will try to either you resend to the value, depends on your need. In this example we need to resend the value of LCM again as a parameter one. Okay, so while getting the LCM, first we try to find out the minimum and maximum, then we will apply loop, and if condition, if it is met, then return the value. So what you see here, what kind of concepts I have used. So first one is how to handle the argument. So this is the string array and this is how we will iterate it. So we have to use a loop because we want to accept all the parameters of the command that we have given. Then I need to create one method where I have to pass few parameters. Here we use the if condition, that is ternary condition. So if this condition is met, this it should be returning this one, else returning this one. So this is how I will pass the assignment to. So the value of this one should come into an integer value, that is min. Next we are doing the for loop because I need to do execution in the loop, and we have to find one condition. So this is how we will provide the condition, and if my condition is met, I want to return back from the method. If I want to get return from only loop, I will use break. So break is not required here, so I am coming out of this method. I hope you understood how to find out the LCM using Java. So let's try one more run. So let's give something 15 and 17, apply and run it, that is 255. Okay, so let's move to the next example, that is finding sum of digits in a number. Let's go back to Eclipse. Let's create one more class inside the same package. So find sum of digits in sum of digits, right? Okay, let's make one main method. Let's try to understand the problem first. So problem says that we have to make the sum of digits in a number. Suppose your number is 1 to 2. Suppose number is 12. So the expected equal to 1 plus 2, that is 3. So if number is given 2 3 4, so it will become 2 plus 3 plus 4, so that is 9. So this is how our expectation. So input here I will give number. This time I want to take from user input from console, and for processing I will create one method, and then what I will do, I will print the output. So taking input, let's use a scanner is equal to new scanner. We will use system dot in. I want to use user input from console. I want to read the integer value, so I will say next. I want to use integer. That value I am passing, I am using as input. This is my input. So let's print that input. I will say input, that is so let's save it. It's already saved. Let's run it. So input, sorry, sum of digits, something is wrong. It is not running properly. Okay, let's try to change the configuration. So configuration says that it is always running with this one. It doesn't matter as such, so let's close it without changing. Why is still same? Okay. So let's close it. Others. So basically it should not print anything if I it is not trying to print this value, so yeah. So run configuration. I want to remove all those. Let's run this one as a fresh. So we need to run as Java application. So let's run it. So here if I give 23, input is 23. Now I have to do the processing here. I will say int sum equal to get sum of digits. I will write one method and pass this one as input. So it will ask me to create a method. So let's create this method. Let's not confuse you much. I will just use static as of now. uh, it is returning 0. So let's write the actual logic. So what happens here if your number is given 2 3 4? So we have to first find digits 2, then we have to find 3, then we have to find 4, then we have to add it them. How we'll do that? So what we'll do, we will start with something called something 0, then we will add 2, then we will add the result with 3, then with 4, then we will get the result. So and we have to do this one into a loop. So we will use here while input is greater than equal to 1. So let's use one variable, say int sum is equal to 0. So sum equal to sum is equal to sum 0 plus, then we need to find out 2. 2 I will get once so I can do other way as well. First I will get 4. So I will say 0 plus 4, then plus 3, then plus 2. So I will say number, what is the remainder if I divide by 10? Right, so it will be input divided by 10. So this time input is 234 divided by 10 is you will get the remainder as 4. So sum will be 0 is equal 0, sum will be 0 plus 4, that is 4. So next time I have to change my input. So next time input should be 23. How I will get? I will get input is equal to input divided by 10. So here what will happen? So in input this time it will become 23. 23 is still more than 1. So sum will be 4 plus 23 divided by 10, that is 3. So sum 4 plus 3. Now input will be 23 divided by 10. So that will be 2. So 2 is still greater than 1. You will get the sum will be 7 plus 2, that is 9. Now input is 2 divided 2, when I divide it with 10 it will become 0. So 0 is not more than 1, so it will come out of that loop. So the sum will be your final value. So this is what you are returning, then you are printing it. So I will say print sum of digits is nothing but sum. Okay, now let's run it. Let's take example of 123. So input is this one, sum of digit is 6. So let's try to do this one in a loop, so that I don't want to run while true. So it will always be true, and you can run your whole program endlessly. So suppose I run keep 2, input is 2 and sum of digit 2. If I give 23, input 23, sum of digit 5. If I give 4 5 6, input 4 5 6 and sum of digit is 15. So it should be sum of digits. So let's okay, now if I let me give big number, sum of digit 24. Okay, so we have covered two examples. Let's go to next example. So here you have seen that I'm using concept of your looping and condition and operator and logic. So this is how you can go for solution of your problems. Let's try to see the next problem, that is find sum of first n numbers. So let's create one class. So sum first n numbers. Oh, I have created into default package. Let's move this one into example and let's remove from here. So now this sum first numbers will be in this example package. Let's create main method. So here what does it mean, this program? If I say I want to find out first five numbers, I want to find the sum of that. So it will become 2 3 4 5. So the sum will be 1 2 3 6 4 10 5 15. So it should be sum of that. So there is a direct formula. So if any number is given n, so the number starting from 1 till that n, if I try to find out the sum of that, it will be n plus 1 divided by 2. So if n is equal to 5, so 5 plus 1, that is 6 divided by 2. So it will become 5 into 6 divided by 2, that is 3. So it will become 15. So it's pretty much straightforward. So what you need to here, one need to say input is your number, then you are processing it to get sum, then how you are showing your output to user. So let's write one method. Say static, I want to return int. So you can say get sum, passing the value as number. Okay, return 0 as of now. So what you need to do, return n into n plus 1 divided by 2. Simple. sorry, n is here number, let's give n. So your input is here, you want to take from using a scanner. So scanner, new scanner, I want to use system dot in. Let's put one while loop. I want to use for a long time, so I will say int input is equal to sc dot next int. And this one I want to print the output. Processing, I am done, so I am printing now. Printing, I will call this method get sum and pass this input. So let's run it. There is some problem here. What is the problem? There should be one operator in between. Let's run it. Let's run its configuration. So this will be sum of your first numbers. The number I have given 5, so it will become 15. If I give 15, it is 120. If I give 20, it will become 210. 56, 1595, some other value, this. So there is limit, like at some certain point, at this point you got some value which is very much absurd. So that happens because I have used int data type for storing long value. You can use long. If that is also not enough, then you go for wrapper class for integers, that is big int. So in case of big int, you can get the result with the bigger number. So let's try to solve this problem with bigger number, because for this number we have not, for this number we have got very absurd kind of output. So let's try to solve this kind of problem. So result should say I want to return big integer. So big integer is a wrapper for integer, where you can use integer is also wrapper for integer, big integer is also wrapper class for integer, which will give a bigger range of integer. So I will say you are passing n here. So what you need to say, you need to say, so let's try to new big integer, you want to pass n dot multiply dot add. You have to use the function basically, add 1 divided by 2. So we have to use this, should be also. So we need to basically refactor into, first we need to use n, then we have to say n plus 1, then we have to use this 2 in a certain manner. So let's make this is new big integer. I will say n. So let's stop. This is big integer b1. Okay, let's make another one. What is the problem? So it should be basically accepts only integer, it accepts only a string. So let's mark this one as a string. I will use n. Okay, next one will be new integer n dot add new big integer of 1. So it become 2. Okay, so this will add 1, and so let's take another example. Big integer b3 is equal to new big integer, I want to give 2. So the formula will be b1 dot multiply b2 dot divide b3. So let's return this one. Let's remove other part. So input I will take as next line, that is string. Okay, now I have to print this one. So let's run it. Let's give some bigger number. So if I use normal int, it's very difficult to print the correct value. Here if you are giving a very big number, then you can get the proper result. So this is the use of your wrapper classes. I will tell you in detail when I move when I proceed for the next set of videos. So for now you just try to understand that for each primitive type there is wrapper, and wrapper class is nothing but object which has the structure of like any other object where you have set of methods, you can use it. So here we have set of methods in big integer that we are trying to use: add, then multiply, then divide. These are the methods available in wrapper class for big integer. Okay, let's try to go for another example. So print prime numbers till 100. Okay, so let's create one class so that I can make a program separately. So the package I will use same. So here what basically we are trying to find out, we are trying to print the prime numbers. So just say print prime numbers. So let's write one main method. So prime number, what we need to do, we will first go from int I is equal to 2. So 2 is the minimum prime number. Prime number are those numbers which are divisible by 1 and itself. So if it is divisible by some other number, it is not prime number. So I will start with 2 and I will go till say 100. I want to print all the prime numbers till 100. So this is my loop to print from 1 to 200. We know that prime number starts from 2 only. So and till 100 I want to find out. So we will simply say, we will call one boolean is prime. We'll call one method called is prime. We'll pass this I. Okay, so if is prime, then I will say I is prime number. Then otherwise I'll say I is not a prime number. Okay, so the thing is that we need to make a logic to check if any given number is prime or not. So this class I am making it a static, sorry, I am making one method, static method, saying it will basically return you if any given number int, that is number, is prime or not. So what we need to do, we need to first check with I, say I equal to 2, then I is less than number divided by 2. So we will check till half. So if it is, we can find any number, half of any number, if it is that is divisible by, if that range is divisible by any number, then it is, that number is not a prime. So I will say I plus plus. So what I need to do, if that number is divisible by I fully, then it is return. If it is not divisible by that I, then it is true, right? So let's make other way. If it is divisible by 0, sorry, if it is divisible by I, then it is prime, it is not a prime number. If it did not find any number with whom this number can be fully divided, then this will be a prime number. Say for example you are passing number 7. So number 7 is I is equal to 2, I is less than number by 2, that is 7 by 2. 7 by 2 is nothing but 3. Then we say number that is 7 divided by 2, it is it is not, it is basically not equal to 0, so it will move to next. So that is I is equal to 3. 3 is less than 3, so this condition is broken, so it will come out of that for loop and say yes, it is a prime number. So let's run it. If you see here, what is the result? So this is giving something wrong. So 2 is not a prime number, but it says that 2 is prime number. Okay, let's run it again. Now it is fine. So 2 is prime, 3 is prime, 5 is prime, 7 is prime, 11 is prime. So let's not to print 9 prime numbers, non-prime numbers. So let's ignore this one. So if you run it, you will see from 2 to 100 there are very few prime numbers. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, and last one 97. These are the prime numbers. So we have to execute from 2 to till the half of number, and if it is divisible by I, then it is not prime number. If it is not divisible by any one of them, then it is prime number. So you can print from 2 to 100, you can print from 2 to 1000 also. So from 100, 1 to 1000, these are the values. You can say that these are prime numbers. Okay, we will see some more examples in next video.